Welcome back to another UCL Fantasy deadline stream. I'm still on holiday, but it's my last night here. And hopefully this can actually stay until the very end because I can see the connection does seem very loose. Let me know if there are any issues in terms of the audio or the visuals. But let's get straight into your questions and comments. As always, I'll discuss my transfer plans and what I'm looking to do, and also the lineups for Arsenal and Bayern Munich, and of course Real Madrid versus Man City. And I believe Real Madrid's lineup is already out. I'll be showing you everything you need to know ahead of the Matchday 9 deadline, all the injury updates, and also answering all your queries to make sure that you're well prepared for the quarterfinal stages. But before I go into my team any further and go into your questions, I want to whiz through some of the other kind of topics and big news that we need to cover. So let's actually start off with this by a Manchester City source, so FPL Main Road, and Walker and Ake travel to the squad. Of course, we'll find out now with the lineups, and he doesn't expect Gvardiol to start, so that's already covered. There's also these stats. This page is also quite useful. Champions League fantasy football tips. The teams most likely to keep a clean sheet in Matchday 9. Atletico Madrid are first with 41%, and Arsenal are second with 36%. And as you can see, Bayern Munich are bottom in terms of clean sheet chances, with Barcelona second last. And then if we look at this about Zaire Emery, he is a doubt for Matchday 9. But if you actually translate this source, it's a PSG page with about 100,000 followers. He says that Zaire Emery participated in the entire training session, and that was yesterday. So good news there for Paris Saint-Germain. And of course, this is now, we're going to see it with the lineup. Rodrigo's playing on the left with Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. up front. And this is the most likely Matchday 9 goal scorers, assuming that they start. Mbappe is top with 51%. Erling Haaland is second with 42%, sharing that spot with Morata actually. Then you've got Griezmann and Gabriel Jesus in the top 5. In terms of the teams most likely to keep a clean sheet, I think I just covered that. And this is the Real Madrid starting lineup. We'll see Man City's very soon. Lunin's in goal with a back four of Mendy, Rudiger, Tchouameni and Carvajal. Camavinga, Cruz and Valverde as the midfield three, with Bellingham, Rodrigo and Vinicius. But it could be Rodrigo on the left-hand side with Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. up front. Let's see how that pans out in around an hour and a half's time. But as soon as the lineups are out for Real Madrid and Man City, and we see the Citizens lineup, I'll be showing you right here in this stream. Be sure to give a like as well, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It might be a bit of an ask, but we do have a lot of people watching. Let's get this channel to 23,000 subscribers. I'm very close to that milestone, just over 100 away. It'd be very much appreciated, and it's a nice way to wrap up this holiday, and of course, Champions League and Matchday 9. But let's now go back to my team, which I haven't made any transfers yet, as you can well see. But of course, a lot could still change with 5 free transfers and a lot of different possibilities. So right now we do have, let me just give it a little check. Yeah, over 200 people watching. I do appreciate you. Those that watch every single stream and video, be sure to give a like, as I just mentioned. RM is to get this stream to over 300 likes, and then we'll see how we can go from there. Raman says, hey Dylan, I'm still trying to figure out which pair is much better to go. KDB and Havertz or Vinicius and Kimmich, Rodri. Difficult one, but right now, I think I would go for KDB and Havertz out of those two duos. Hey Dylan, please free best defenders for this week and special captain. Check out my best Limitless and Wildcard team videos. I cover the best options there, but to summarize, Molina will be my top defender pick. I'd also put Saliba in there, but it all depends on your predictions on how the games are going to turn out. I think the third one would be perhaps Marquinhos from Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah, I think apart from that, Real Madrid, Man City, I expect both teams to score. And to be honest, Atletico Madrid are the team for me that are the most likely to keep a clean sheet. I agree with that page that I showed you very recently. So I think those are the 3. Special captain. Tuesday's quite difficult. I'm still quite torn. I've currently got the armband on Saka, but I think Mbappe is the best captain overall. Zodiac, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you, El Padrino. As always, be sure to give a like, as he says. I can get your wildcard team with a -4, but can't afford Molina as I can only spend 5.8 million on a defender. Should I still wildcard this week? Or if not, which week should I wildcard, as I've already used the Limitless? You could use the wildcard now, but there's always that kind of safety net if you use the wildcard in Matchday 11, and it allows you to maybe go for some more aggressive punts now. But if it saves you a -4 hit and allows you to go for Molina, I think that could be enough for the wildcard in UCL Fantasy. So I think both options are definitely viable, but in your situation, I think I'd play the wildcard. Cylindra puts 2 scenarios. So which quartet, how many 5, 6 players do you prefer? Quite difficult. I think a lot of the players are quite similar, so I'd probably just go for the first set of players. In fact, I'd go for the second set of players there, Sidindra. Welcome, Crow X. Good to see you. Venom says, what's up, guys? Still haven't made my team, but I can't figure out what to do. That's good. It's best to wait for the lineups anyway and then make an informed opinion. There's no need to make transfers early. But yeah, once we see the Man City lineup, Arsenal and Bayern Munich, we can start to finalize things. Kobel or Meyer? I think I'd go for Kobel. Good to see you, Ignacio. Vamos, Dylan, que estos dos matches son claves. Sí, tienes verdad ahí. Any cheaper Let's Go defenders that are nailed for both legs? Not sure if they're nailed per se. If Hermoso's fit, he should start both games, but even that isn't set in stone. If you actually check Atletico Madrid's lineups recently and their substitutions, there's a lot of rotation going on with that defense. Molina's by far the most nailed, and Hermoso tends to play when he's fit. Dortmund better than Atletico? Maybe. Dortmund are in good form as well. Atletico have been a bit shaky, but at least in Matchday 9, I would back Atletico, to be honest. Kubasi from Barcelona play? I think you mean Kubarsi. Yeah, I think he will play. He's started a lot of games recently, and Barcelona kept 5 clean sheets consecutively in La Liga. Dylan always on holiday. My man is blessed. Not always, but recently, yeah, since February, I've been on 2 holidays. So 2 of the last 3 deadline streams for UCL Fantasy, I've been on holiday. Hopefully that doesn't result in any problems with the stream. It's already been a bit weird, but like I asked earlier, be sure to let me know if there's any problems with the stream. Zaire Emery is in or out. As I just mentioned, it looks like Zaire Emery trained yesterday, so I'd expect them to be in the squad, and I think he'll start. Best match day to use wildcard, 9 or 11. It's ultimately team dependent, but I'd probably use it now if I still had it. It'd also allow you to maybe go for some different punts elsewhere. But honestly, I think match day 9 or 11 are the best times overall to use it from now until the end of the competition. Who's a good replacement for Ake from Man City? Beraldo at a similar price, or Kubarsi from Barcelona, a 4 million defender who started in match day 8, and he also started a lot of games recently for Barcelona. Hey Dylan, will Guerrero start for Bayern? I don't think so. I saw a Bayern predicted lineup, and it had Lima and Goretzka as the 2 holding midfielders, and it had Davis and Kimmich as the fullback. So no, Guerrero probably won't start. Gavardio starting. Thank you, Alex. We'll go for the lineup now then, since I've got the tab ready at this moment in time. So UEFA.com would be nice if they loaded the... No, they don't have the lineups yet. We should get it very soon though for Man City. We should get it soon. And as for Arsenal, Bayern Munich, yeah, no lineups just yet. Let me pause that video before it causes problems. There we go. So yeah, once the lineup is out here, I'll be able to go through it. Yeah, apologies if there are any problems with the stream. Like I mentioned, there's not much I can do there. But yeah, we'll go back to this team for now. Once I see on UEFA.com, I'll just show you all the lineups at once. And right now we do have over 300 people watching. Be sure to give a like and also subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 23k subscribers by the end of tonight. Morata or Havertz? I prefer Havertz right now. Bridgerton says, if Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Kivior can be an option of starting because of funds shortage. Yeah, I don't mind that so much, but in the future, I think there'll be rotation. I don't think any one of them is necessarily nailed. Kivior has been great recently, but in the last couple of games, it's Zinchenko starting. And I think Tomiyasu could be saved for these kind of big games where he needs to win his duels against the opposing winger. So Leroy Sané against Tomiyasu would be a big battle, but if it's Zinchenko, you would give Sané the edge there for sure. Yeah, good luck to you, Wasif. I messed up the team, thought that it's Dortmund home game and transferred Hummels. It's not too bad though. I mean, going for a triple up defensively is very risky, but I think Hummels could still get you points there. If I'm being honest, many people will regret not going with Haaland, but the vast majority of people have him anyway, to be honest. How's it, Dylan? Hope you well, mate. Have been so busy with work, even forgot about UCL. Yeah. Yeah, likewise to you, David. Well, Dave. Yeah, I can see what you mean there. I've kind of been into Champions League this season. It's been quite fun, especially the knockout stages. And today, I think, is the biggest night of them all. CBS show, mainly clips, and when I watch Arsenal, just Champions League games in general, sometimes I catch it through CBS. Coutinho or Zaire Emery? Zaire Emery. Greetings as well, Dave. Captain today. I'm currently going for Saka, but honestly, very close call between Bellingham, Saka himself. Even a differential like Havertz could be decent. Vinicius Jr., Bellingham, and Haaland. De Bruyne and Foden also stand out. They're all good choices. Feremi says, how many transfers can I carry forward? None. You can only carry transfers over in UCL Fantasy in the group stages, not in the knockouts. Best players today, Bellingham, Saka, Vinicius Jr., Haaland, De Bruyne, Foden. I think they're the best options. Then at the back, you're probably looking at Saliba. Watching, and I'm not even playing UCL Fantasy. Great to hear that, Marco. I would actually recommend it. It's a really good fantasy format. Best budget defenders, Kubarsi, Lucas Beraldo. I think whoever starts at left back for Arsenal could be quite decent. As someone mentioned earlier, I think it was Bridgerton. So Kivior, Sinchenko. I'm not sure if Sinchenko's... Actually, I say Kivior. He's actually priced at 6 million, which is ridiculous. He should be a budget defender, but he isn't. I think, yeah, Kubarsi, Marlin, still from Borussia Dortmund. Hermoso if he's fit for Atletico Madrid. And, yeah, Beraldo. I think all of them are good. Heidelin, ¿qué atacante ves con mayor probabilidad de gol? Mbappe. Seguramente. Surely Kane captain versus Arsenal? Not necessarily, because Arsenal are the better team right now. I mean, look, Kane can score against Arsenal, don't get me wrong. He's got a great record against them, but with Bayern Munich being away, their form isn't necessarily so great. I don't think Kane is a standout captain, so to speak. I think it's very close between him, Vinicius, Bellingham, Haaland, and of course, Saka. Kane ain't scoring. I mean, look, he might well score, but I would back Arsenal to win today, but let's see how the lineups are. I think Pavlovic is key for Bayern. If he starts, I think that boosts their chances massively. If he doesn't, and it's Lima and Goretzka, I think Arsenal could even win by 2 or 3. Predictions for today, I'll show you very soon on my predictor. In fact, I'll do it right now, but I'm currently going for 1-1 between Real Madrid and Man City. I'm torn between that and 2-1. I'm going 3-1 Arsenal right now, but I might go for 2-1. I think it might be a tougher game than some people expect. But yeah, either way, even if Arsenal win today 3-1, I think Bayern could get a result at the Allianz and it could go all the way, just like we saw in the round of 16 against Porto. As for Paris Saint-Germain, Barcelona, I've gone for 2-1 PSG and 2-0 Atletico. In terms of player of the matches, I've gone for Vinicius, Odegaard, Mbappe, and Griezmann, but that could all change, to be honest. I might even go for 2-1 Atletico. These predictions aren't set in stone, so hopefully I can remember these in time. As for the Arsenal-Bayern Munich lineups, still nothing, still absolutely nothing, which is a shame on UEFA.com, but the lineups might be out already, to be fair. So hopefully these are updated quite soon. I'm going to have a quick look now, actually, on Twitter. Hopefully it doesn't cause any lag. It probably is right now, isn't it? But yeah, I'm going to see if I can quickly get Man City lineup. So yeah, Kanji, Diaz, Stones, and Gavardio all start. All right, there you go. Let's see if I can get their official lineup all confirmed by Man City. No, I don't see it just yet. I'll just wait for UEFA to have it on the website. No need to cause any potential issues for this. So I'm going to go back to my team once again. And I'll show you my transfer plans very shortly. So just keep an eye out. We've got just over an hour left until the deadline. So, of course, UCL Fantasy deadlines are when the kickoffs begin for the first set of matches. Vinicius or Haaland or Griezmann? I think for Matchday 9, Griezmann might be the best. Yeah, I think I'd go for Griezmann right now. 3 players out. Should I use wildcard? You've got 5 free transfers, remember that. So you could even save the wild card, but if you've already made transfers and you've got 3 players who are injured or unavailable, just play the wild card. It's very simple. Do you reckon Morata will start over Depay? Depay's got a problem, actually. So let me just quickly get up the injury list. I did see something yesterday about Memphis Depay, and that's where Morata could come in. If it wasn't for that, I would have backed Depay to start. So yeah, Depay currently has a muscle injury. Now, we don't know when he's going to be back. It could be a week or 2, maybe even 3. So he is a doubt for Matchday 9. So I would back Morata to start. Based on that information, let's see how that all pans out. I guarantee Man City will concede 3 goals or more. They've been leaking goals to even Palace. The thing is with Man City, they were already 4-1 up by the time they conceded that second goal. And yeah, I see what you're saying. Man City aren't that secure defensively, but even in the Premier League, they've got the second best defence over the course of the season. Only Arsenal have been better. And in this calendar year, the same applies there. Haaland's going to go hard. Maybe a Matchday 9, but I would back him to do something over both legs. Do you rate Morata as a pick? I liked him a lot in the group stages. I'm a bit less keen on him now. And once Depay is back, I think Morata drops to the bench. but he should start in match day 9. So if you're looking for a budget forward, I'm not really against that, or a mid-price forward, should I say. Who are your favorites to go to the semis? I'd actually give Real Madrid the slight edge, which might seem a bit crazy with my 1-1 prediction currently. I might change that to 2-1. I think PSG and probably Barcelona. PSG and Barcelona. I'd probably go for Barcelona and Atletico Madrid to go for on the other side. Arsenal-Bayern, I think, is 50-50. I think Arsenal win today, but I think it's either a draw or loss at the Allianz. And Bayern's experience, their pedigree, individual quality, Thomas Tuchel obviously has won the Champions League. I think all of that levels the playing field. I think if Pavlovic starts tonight, I'd actually give Bayern the slight edge over both ties. I think that's massive, Pavlovic starting. If Pavlovic doesn't start, I'm going to go for Arsenal. Havertz better than Morata at 7 million. Yeah, I think I'd currently favour Havertz. He's in great form. Do you reckon Morata will start? Felipe Garcia says, Hola Dylan, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, ¿y vos? Hermoso está lesionado. ¿Cómo ves la defensa del Atlético? Sí, Mario Hermoso tiene un problema. Es una duda para la jornada 9, pero no creo que sea tan serio. Yo creo que va a empezar el partido, pero no sé mucho de la lesión para decir definitivamente si va a empezar o no. Pero yo diría que va a empezar. Morata definitely starts. Yeah, I believe so with the pie injury. Best Limitless players to target. It's in the Best Limitless team video, to be honest. Not much would have changed from that. I believe I went for Griezmann there. So yeah, just check that video out and it's all covered. What big players on 1 yellow card from suspension? Kai Havertz is one of them. Declan Rice as well. I've got literally a whole list, which I spoke about in the Limitless team video and podcast. So Ruben Dias, Hummels, Skriniar, Lucas Hernandez, Ugarte, Araujo, Joao Felix, Sergio Roberto, Ferran Torres, Frankie de Jong, Yamal, Christensen, Lino, De Paul, Savic, Morata, Hermoso, Camavinga, Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., Declan Rice, Havertz, Davis, Goretzka, and Sasha Bowie. All of them are 1 yellow card away from suspension, and there actually might be one more that I'm forgetting from Real Madrid, which I will try to add. Maybe if someone can see in the live chat and just put it there, that'd be appreciated. Who do you think can perform better? In Matchday 9, I'd say Mbappe out of those three. Sanyik says best midfielder at 6 million and below. Pavlovic, if he starts, is pretty decent, but I'd probably stick with Zaire Emery or Fermin Lopez, and I think Zaire Emery is my favourite. Just bear in mind, he is a slight concern in terms of his fitness. I got a gut feeling that Muller's on the score sheet. It's his 150th appearance in the Champions League, so it wouldn't surprise me. Atletico Madrid predicted starting defence as I can't afford Molina. I wouldn't be able to tell you, to be honest. If Hermoso is fit, I believe he starts. They typically play a back three with Witsel playing as one of the defenders, and that's why he's so good for ball recoveries in UCL Fantasy. So I'd expect it to be Witsel, Hermoso if he's fit, and Savic. Yeah, with Lino on the left and Molina on the right. No, not a new camera, just different lighting because, yeah, I literally just got pure daylight, pure natural light instead of the usual kind of lights I use at home. Best time for Limitless, I think either now or match day 10. I wouldn't use it in the semi-finals or final, if possible. I got Beraldo already. I'm trying to trade Kim for either Kubarsi or Kunde. What do you think? If money is no issue, I prefer Kunde. But I think Kubarsi, very promising talent, and he's actually been quite impressive recently. Saka and Haaland out for KDB and Mbappe? No, I don't think so. Also Rodrigo as a differential captain, or should I go basic with Jude? No, I don't mind it. You've always got that captaincy option tomorrow to fall back on, and I think Mbappe is the best from the Wednesday players. So I don't mind Rodrigo so much, but I have to say I do prefer Bellingham in general. Rodrigo obviously was the hero against Man City a couple of seasons ago, so that's probably in the back of your mind. Bench Solanke or Gordon next week. In terms of FPL questions, leave that for the future streams and videos, but right now I think I'd bench probably Solanke at the moment. So some questions are literally just repeated constantly, so I'm not going to go through that. Keep Haaland and Kimmich or switch to Griezmann and Bellingham. I'd switch to Griezmann and Bellingham. Beraldo, Kubarsi or Azpilicueta? I think for match day 9, I'd go for Azpilicueta. The thing is, I'm not sure if he starts. I just read out my prediction for the starting 5 defenders, and Azpilicueta wasn't there. But if Hermoso isn't fit, you would expect Cesar to start. Haaland, Foden, KDB and Grealish will start. Yeah, not too many surprises there. You'd probably expect De Bruyne to be benched in Game Week 33. But let's now go through the lineups. Let's see if they're actually finally on the website, which they should be. Yes, they are. So Ortega's in goal, Ruben Diaz, Stones, Kovacic, Haaland, Grealish, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Gvardiol, Akanji, and Foden. And let's see the bench. Yeah, no Nathan Ake, of course, and no Walker, as reported yesterday. So Edison, Carson, Doku, De Bruyne, Alvarez, Gomez, Mateus Nunez, Oscar Bob, Rico Lewis, and Suso. Well, I actually haven't heard of that player before. I think it's a youngster. I'm not even going to butcher his name. As for Real Madrid, I read the lineup earlier, but you can see it on screen. And on their bench, they've got Kepa, Gonzalez, Eder Militao, Nacho, Modric, Joselu, Lucas Vasquez, Ceballos, who's now back from his injury, Fran Garcia, Brahim Diaz, and Arda Güler. Let's see Arsenal and Bayern's lineups. No, they're still not out yet. So, oh, no, they are. It just refreshed now. So David Raya is in goal there for the Gunners. White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Kivior as the back four. Odegaard, Jorginho, Rice, Saka, Havertz, and Martinelli, who starts for the first time in quite a while. He has been benched recently for the Gunners. As for Bayern Munich, let's see. The predicted lineup I talked about for Bayern is exactly spot on. Goretzka and Lima start. That is a massive blow for Bayern to have Pavlovic on the bench there. So Neuer's in goal, Davis, De Ligt, Dyer, Joshua Kimmich, Goretzka, Lima, Gnabry, Musiala, Sane, and Kane. I have to say Arsenal do have the advantage based on these lineups, but Bayern still have a lot of individual quality, especially their attack is absolutely exceptional. So the benches for both teams include Ramsdale, Hein, Partey, Gabriel Jesus, Smith Rowe, Nketiah, Tomiyasu, Trossard, Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson, El Neni, and Sinchenko. And for Bayern Munich, we've got Daparetz, Ulrich, Upamecano, Kim Min-jae, Coman, Choupo-Moting, Zaragoza, Guerrero, Muller, Tell, Mazzari, and Pavlovic, who's just returned from an infection. So those are the lineups for Arsenal and Bayern Munich, and I covered the Real Madrid-Man City one just now. But I think Pavlovic being on the bench is a big boost for Arsenal and a massive blow for Bayern. If just ask any Bayern Munich fan what they think of Pavlovic, he's probably been their second or third best player this season. He's been really impressive. So now it looks quite simple, I think, in terms of some of the transfers I need to make, but it isn't fully locked in. And be sure to smash the like button, of course, if you haven't already. We've got almost 500 people watching. Let's get the stream to many more likes, and let's also get to 23k subscribers. It costs nothing, of course, and you'll also be up to date with all my content. I think we're 115 subscribers from that milestone, so be sure to keep on pushing so we can reach those objectives. I'm going to go back into your questions now. And of course, a huge shout out goes to all the channel members and patrons, as always. Dylan, will Lucas Hernandez start for PSG tomorrow? Well, Hakimi is suspended. He's the right back, of course. Lucas Hernandez plays generally on the left. I think there is a chance Hernandez starts, but I can't guarantee it. Marquinhos should be back, but he could play as the right back to replace Hakimi. And if that's the case, I think Hernandez starts. But just in case, I might get rid of him. Best team for Limitless, or best time for Limitless, I covered this in the best Limitless team video and also earlier in the stream. For me, Matchday 9 or Matchday 10 is the best time to use it if you haven't already, because I generally recommend using it beforehand. De Bruyne benched, that's insane. Yeah, I think I saw someone say that De Bruyne starts. That isn't true, is it? So yeah, De Bruyne is on the bench, so yeah, it's a big, big surprise. So maybe he starts in the Premier League instead. But it's just De Bruyne can't play or start and play 90 minutes, twice in 3 or 4 days. He just can't do it anymore. So yeah, those are pretty much the lineups and everything else. All of that covered. Also, all the news about tomorrow's matches, like Zaire Emery being in training yesterday, which is a massive boost. Let me now go to the transfer section and show you. I want to see your thoughts in the live chat. Just say 1 or 2. That's literally all you have to put, the number. So this is what I talked about in the team selection video and podcast, going for Oblak, Molina, Marquinhos, Witsel, and Mbappe as my 5 transfers. But it does require downgrading Musiala. So do you prefer this, Team 1 or Team 2? And I can still buy Mbappe for Haaland, keep Musiala, and go for Beraldo, Kubarsi, and Oblak at the back. And I don't... and also I can buy Hummels for Maatsen, which is a bit of a luxury. So let me know if you prefer Team 1 or 2. Would you sell Mbappe for Erling Haaland, or would you sell another forward? Would you just go without Mbappe? Be sure to let me know. And who are you captaining for tonight? I did put polls out earlier as well. Let me just deal with a few spammers and weird people in the live chat. Let me just do that. Thank you, Keith, for moderating things. I do appreciate that. Always a pleasure. So yeah, for some reason this bloody chat is kind of annoying here. Let's see if I can get this done. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Keith. You definitely did me a favor there. All right, so let's get to the questions as well. Yep, see our Arsenal lineups out. Thank you. Yeah, KDB benched. I'm sure a lot of you have something to say about that. No, Barca are cooked. I think Barcelona will lose the first leg, but they have a chance of going through still. ¿Qué opinas en dejar fuera a Haaland por Kevin De Bruyne? Y no lo haría ahora porque De Bruyne está en el banco y Haaland obviamente empieza el partido. Lewandowski overlooked a little bit. He's got a great record in the Champions League and the knockout stages, and he's been in great form since Xavi announced that he's leaving at the end of the season. Bridgerton says Molina and Kobel or Hummels and Oblak. I'd probably go for Hummels and Oblak, but that's a very close call. They're both great duos, to be fair. Very lit to win it. Best defender for 4.7 million, probably Lucas Beraldo for me. Mbappe captain. Don't captain Mbappe now because he plays tomorrow. Remember to captain a player who plays on the Tuesday. If he doesn't do well, you can captain Mbappe tomorrow and switch the armband. Top 3 captains today. I'm in kind of two minds about this. I'd probably give Saka the edge as number 1, but of course, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. In second, I think I'd go for Bellingham. And in third, I'd actually probably go for either Vinicius or Rodrigo. I do think Madrid have the slight edge over Man City in Matchday 9. Hi Dylan, I have Wildcard and Limitless. When is the best time to use them? It is team dependent. It always is a team dependent question, but I think Matchday, this is the problem. I think I'd use the Limitless now in Matchday 9 and use the Wildcard potentially in Matchday 10 or 11. I think that's the way I'd go about it. Yeah, I think that's what I'd do. It depends how many files you have to put out right now. But yeah, if you don't have that many, probably just use the Limitless now and wildcard in 10 or 11. How do I predict the games? There's a game called Predictor in the UEFA website. Yeah, if you're on the Champions League Fantasy website, there's going to be an option for games and you just type the predictor in. Molina or Cancelo? Molina. What are the best forwards? Vinicius. For Matchday 9, I'd say Mbappe, Griezmann, and Vinicius would be my top 3. Team looks good. Can't decide when to play Limitless chip. Yeah, I feel that. I completely see what you're saying there. Maybe use it at Matchday 10 then, where you only have 3 transfers and you might have a bigger gain when using it. Yeah, thank you very much. All the lineups are covered, of course. Let's see what else we can go through. What do you think about Yamal? Very promising talent. I like the look of him, but UCL Fantasy-wise, I wouldn't go for him just yet. I actually prefer Fermin Lopez a little bit more. Welcome, Alex. Hopefully you're doing well too. Okay, let's see what else. Kubarsi, Beraldo, Aspilicueta, Beraldo. Every team at least one? I'd say so, but obviously there is merit in going for, just loading up on certain teams, but at least having one player as a safety net is generally recommended. So people, let's see if we can actually put it into perspective. So yeah, 2, 1, 2, 2. A lot of people saying 2. Okay, that's surprising. I thought more people would go for 1. I'm guessing Musiala is the big deal there. He's a quality player, but thank you to those that left their feedback. Kane or Vinicius captain? I'd say Vinicius. Saka, Odegaard captain. I've gone for Odegaard as my tip for player of the match, so I don't mind him as a differential. You always have an option for tomorrow. Yep, KDB is benched. Yeah, go for Lino, way more attacking. Witzel's very good for ball recoveries. Lino has a high ceiling, but he also tends to be subbed off quite early, and he's not a defender. He's a midfielder playing as a defender / wing back. So I do prefer Witzel in UCL Fantasy. Do you think we should have covered best goalkeeper? Oblak. Dylan was looking to make these transfers: Raum, Sommer, and Haaland to Mbappe, Molina, and Oblak. Thoughts? Yeah, I love those transfers. Obviously, Haaland is always going to be the problem. Selling him could be risky, but you're going for Mbappe. Even if Haaland scores tonight, I think Mbappe could pay off that transfer. And of course, the other 2 moves are exceptional, in my opinion. Worth to keep KDB. I'd sell him. I don't see him coming off the bench and making like a huge impact. I could be wrong, of course. He might get the winning goal or assist, but do I see him doing what he did against Newcastle a couple of months back? No. I'd always rather go for a starting player. Haaland captain, he's a good option. He always is. He might be a bit overlooked this week, but his record in Champions League semi-finals and finals isn't particularly great. All these kind of huge games, of course. This is a quarter-final. I believe he did score away from him against Bayern. He missed a penalty this time last year. Against Madrid, he blanked in both games, didn't he? Home and away. I think there are better options today, but I'm not fully against it. Should I take a -4 for KDB to Foden? Not ideal, Wasif, but if you have the wildcard in your back pocket, I'd play it and save the hit. I think that could be well worth it. Dylan, my guy, any Atletico Madrid midfielder other than Bitsol? De Paul's a really good player, but UCL Fantasy-wise, not interested. Maybe Lino is the one to go for in your case. Just bear in mind that De Paul, Lino, and a few other players for Atletico are 1 yellow card away from suspension. KDB to Jude or best 8.2 million midfielder. I'd just go for Jude Bellingham. Nestor says, no tengo dinero para ir por Saka. ¿Cuál mejor entre Rodri y Yamal? Yo prefiero a Rodri, lamentablemente. Pero si tienes el dinero, me gusta mucho Odegaard. No, you can't roll transfers. Only in the group stages of UCL Fantasy, not in the knockouts. Kangli, good choice or not? Decent, but not fully nailed. And from PSG, Zaire Emery is the best midfielder. And Mbappe, obviously, is the best player overall. Welcome, Juan Carlos. Hey, Dylan, really enjoying your channel. Thank you very much. Sounds like you're very confident Haaland goes today. Not necessarily. It's just I don't back him enough to captain him today. I'm not saying he's definitely going to blank, but I just don't think his ceiling is as high in Matchday 9 as Mbappe would be, for example. I'm not definitely getting rid of him. Let me be very clear about that. But it is a possibility. To go a bit different as well, gain some rank, which I lost in the last couple of match days. Going for Vinicius over Mbappe has cost me quite a bit. Lino in for Kimmich. Don't mind that so much, but Kimmich is still a good option. Even if Bayern lose, he can get plenty of ball recoveries. He's got assist threat. I do like Kimmich still. Replacement for Kim Min-jae. Lucas Beraldo, Mats Hummels, they're all decent options. Hermoso if he's fit. It just depends on which teams you back for a clean sheet. And I think Atletico Madrid are the most likely in Matchday 9. Like I mentioned earlier, mate, I wouldn't keep KDB, but it's up to you. Play the game the way you want. Pick one, Bernardo Silva, Grealish, Rodri. Bernardo Silva is probably the best from an attacking perspective. Rodri's the most consistent, steady, the occasional goal, ball recoveries galore, and player of the match awards are definitely in his arsenal. I'd probably go for Bernardo Silva. I'm 500 overall. Should I take a risk selling Haaland or not? Look, it can go one of two ways, right? At 500, selling Haaland, if it pays off, you could easily then get into the top 100 as a result. But I think people generally at your rank are more protective. They go for the more template picks. I'd honestly back your gut. It's got you this far. I personally would look to sell Haaland if possible to an Mbappe. But apart from him, maybe Griezmann is a differential. But there aren't many forwards I sell Haaland to. But Mbappe certainly is one of them. I wouldn't sell Haaland to Kane, for example, or even Vinicius this match day, in my opinion. I'd probably go for Bellingham captain there, Dino, but Vinicius is more of a differential, so that might be a bit more appealing, a bit more exciting, but I'd personally go for Bellingham. Zaire Emery or Vitinha, I've covered. I'd go for Zaire Emery. Best captain for today, I'd argue Saka is one of the best, if not Bellingham, and tomorrow I'd say Mbappe or Griezmann, in that order. Who should I bring, Mbappe or Vinicius? Mbappe. Raya or Lunin? I'd say Raya. Cancelo, decent option still, but I do prefer Kubarsi and Koundé for price. Haaland or Vinicius? I'd go for Vinicius right now. Kimmich to Lino. It's a good transfer, bestie, but I still like Kimmich, to be honest. I'd probably keep Kimmich because Lino is 1 yellow card away from suspension. I think that put me off a little bit. Kane or Griezmann? Griezmann. And that also answers Sykes Sink's question. Akram says, hi Dylan, I have Sane and I need Oblak. What do you think to downgrade Sane to Musiala and get Oblak, or keep Sane and get Kobel? I'd downgrade Sane to Musiala and get Oblak. Sane hasn't scored, touch wood I'm going to say, in what, 24 games across all competitions, whilst Musiala's been in great form. So I think Musiala's the better option anyway. And you're also able to get Oblak over Kobel. It all depends how you expect the games to go, right? If you back Borussia Dortmund, then just keep Sane and go for Kobel. But I'd personally go for Musiala and Oblak. That's my favourite. Is there Emery injured? He has an injury out, but he trained yesterday, as I covered towards the beginning of this stream. Nelton Nunez says, what's up, Dylan? Long time no see. How are you, bro? Good. What about you? Who do you think is going to the semi-finals? As I mentioned earlier, Real Madrid is my slight favourite over Man City, Atletico and Barcelona. As for Arsenal Bayern Munich, based on the lineups I've seen tonight, I'd give Arsenal the slight edge, but I still respect Bayern Munich. They're still a good team, of course, and I think there'll be a different proposition to how they are in the Bundesliga. I don't think it'll be a walk in the park for Arsenal even tonight. Hopefully I'm wrong and Arsenal can get the job done in one leg, but it's very unlikely. Martinelli in for Haaland. It's not a bad shout, but I think I'd keep Haaland. Griezmann or Kane? Griezmann for this match day. Generally speaking, I prefer Kane, and in match day 10, I'd buy Harry Kane at home to Arsenal, but away at the Emirates, I think I'd give Griezmann the edge for sure. Thoughts on Declan Rice? Suspension risk. Also in UCL Fantasy hasn't been great in terms of points. Excited for tonight. We have to beat Man City to stand any chance in the second leg. Yeah, I mean, look, it's still possible. Real Madrid have that history in the competition, but if Man City win tonight, you'd probably back them to reach the final, really, and win it. Why doesn't Ederson start? He just came back from an injury, that's why, and Ortega's been quite good. Thoughts on Kane to Havertz? Havertz has been in great form, but as I mentioned earlier, I wouldn't sell the likes of Kane and even Haaland for many strikers. Unless you're doing Kane to Mbappe, I don't think I'd do it. I think I'd just keep Kane. Hey Dylan, what do you think about Yamal? Great talent, but UCL Fantasy-wise, I think there are better options. Just my personal take. Zaire Emery or Rice? Zaire Emery. What do you think about Musiala? I think he's been Bayern Munich's probably second best player this season. Just behind Harry Kane, he's one of the best dribblers in the world, a fantastic talent. I think he's the one to look out for Arsenal. If Arsenal could keep Musiala quiet, they've got a great chance of winning the game. That's the way I see it. But right now, as you can see, these are my second set of transfers. So Maatsen up to Hummels. You know what? I'm going to put a poll out just to make things very simple. And by the way, thank you very much for a new member that I've seen here. Let me just get this up. So thank you to Kenny Silvera for becoming a differential. If you actually check in the next couple of days, once I'm back from holiday, which will be tomorrow, and I'm starting to record stuff, you will be able to gain access to all of my videos early. So be sure to check that out, and there are more perks headed your way. Best cheap defender, like I mentioned, Lucas Beraldo. We're getting a lot of similar questions, so I'm going to try not to go through them. Top 3 best defenders. I'd highly recommend checking out my Limitless and Wildcard videos, but I'd say Molina. I'd say Saliba for Matchday 9 and probably Marquinhos. I think that's my top 3. What about Havertz? I mean, what about him? I've bigged him up quite a lot recently. He's in great form. Since November, he's been very consistent in my opinion, and what he's done since February is exceptional in terms of goals and assists, but would I sell Kane to Havertz? No, I wouldn't. Griezmann or Morata? Griezmann. Feremi says Kim, Sommer, Sergio Gomez, Emery, Brandt, best players to replace them. For Kim and Jai, I'd be looking at Molina if possible. For Jan Sommer, Oblak. For Sergio Gomez, I'd be looking at either Beraldo or Kubarsi. Zaire Emery I'd keep. As for Julian Brandt, you could downgrade him to fund the other moves, and you could maybe get a Fermi Lopez, for example. I think that's kind of what I'd look at. Will Beraldo play for sure? I believe so. He's started every single game for Paris Saint-Germain since he's joined in January. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 times he got benched in Ligue 1. Should I do a -12 to replace Jesus and Martinelli or Havertz? I think a -12 is way too much in UCL Fantasy. It honestly is. There's only 13 match days. A -12 is going to set you back a lot, in my opinion. So I wouldn't do that. I know Jesus isn't starting, but I don't think it's worth a -12. Griezmann or Kane? I've covered this quite a lot. I prefer Griezmann for Matchday 9. Overall, Kane is the better option, but for this Matchday, I'm going for Griezmann. Vinicius or Kane? I'd probably give Vinicius the edge as well. Haaland or Mbappe? Mbappe this Matchday. Have Sommer and Ederson, change both, or Ederson to Oblak? If you can change both for free, I'd do it. And I'd do Ederson to Oblak, yes. And you could also do maybe Sommer to Raya or Lunin. Thoughts on captaining Havertz? I'm not completely against it. He's in great form. I like captaining players that are in form, so I'm not really too fussed about that. And do you think Azpilicueta starts tomorrow? If Hermoso's fit, no. That's my take. So right now we have over 600 people watching. Let's get the stream to over 200 likes, and let's also get closer to 23k subscribers. That'd be massively appreciated. and it costs nothing to subscribe. I think we're just over 100 subscribers away now from that milestone, so be sure to keep plugging away. Thank you very much to the new channel members, those that send in super chats, the patrons, and everyone else. One choice for goalkeeper, Oblak. I've covered this quite extensively. Are those your potential transfers on screen? Yes, they are. As I covered before, I'm not fully locked in yet. Saliba or Molina? Molina. Play Kobel or Lunin? Play Lunin tonight and then switch to Kobel tomorrow if Lunin blanks. Is that Gundogan worth it? Not necessarily too great at the moment in UCL Fantasy. Best 6 million mid. There aren't many great options, to be honest. I think I would rather go for a Kimmich, Rodri, Pavlovic if he started, which he obviously isn't. I think they're good options, but I'd be looking at either Witsel, Fermin Lopez, or Zaire Emery, and my favourite is Zaire Emery. Yeah, Havertz captain is good. We've covered that. Ruben Dias or Kubarsi Kunde. Difficult, to be honest, but I'd probably go for Kunde. Thoughts on Fulkrug? If you're looking for a very cheap forward, I'm not really against that. What makes you sure about Kane? Arsenal is strong and will play defensive game. I mean, I'm not sure what you mean there. I mean, with Harry Kane, he has the armband on screen because that's what I had beforehand. I'm not captaining him at the moment, but he's got a great record against the Gunners. You know, I think 7 of his last 10 goals against them have been from penalties, but he's always done well against Arsenal. And look, he's their best chance alongside Musiala of getting something. So I don't really think captaining Kane is unreasonable. I also don't think captaining Kane is an absolute must, like some people say. I think there's balance to be had in that debate. Beraldo nailed to start? I believe so. Back your gut feeling. If you're not so sure, just go for Marquinhos. He's very safe. No hay riesgo de rotación con Mbappe? No creo. Top 5 midfielders in your opinion? I'd say Saka, Odegaard, Musiala, Foden, and Bellingham is my top 5. All right, yeah, thank you very much for the for letting me know about the chat not appearing in this source. Best midfielder to get at 7 million. Once again, I'd say Zaire Emery is my favourite. Dylan, who has a better goal scoring record against City? Rodrigo has a better goal scoring record, but I do prefer Vinicius in general. Molina or Cancelo? Molina. Bernardo or Foden? Definitely Foden for me. Should I keep Odegaard or downgrade him to get Molina, Oblak? Depends who you get in the midfield to replace Odegaard. If you're making a huge downgrade, then I just keep Odegaard. Do you think Hernandez will start? I believe so. I think Marquinhos will start at right back. I think that's something Danilo Pereira said in his press conference, actually. So it could be Marquinhos right back to cover for the suspended Hakimi. Then you've got Lucas Beraldo and potentially Skriniar. And then at left back, you can have Lucas Hernandez. So yeah, I think he does. Kimmich or Witsel? Probably Witsel. Is it okay to use a wildcard today? Yes. It's all team dependent, of course. Fermin nailed? Yeah, he's played a lot of games recently. I wouldn't say he's completely nailed, but I think he'll start. Is Maatsen going to start? Yes. Musiala or Bellingham? Bellingham. Kubarsi or Kunde? Kunde. Use Limitless or save it? Team dependent, mate. It honestly is, but I'd use Limitless either now or Matchday 10, as covered in all my recent videos and streams. Kane plus Kimmich to Havertz and Odegaard thoughts? I'd keep Kane if possible and go for Odegaard for Kimmich if you can. Savic or Jimenez? I've checked every predicted team and it has only one of them. Yeah, I see what you mean. Atletico are very difficult to predict with their defensive players because there's a lot of rotation there, early substitution. So Molina's by far the most nailed. I think Savic is slightly more likely, but I couldn't guarantee it. Witsel, Sancho, Witsel. Eric Dyer's a bargain, not for me, but if you are backing Bayern Munich, it's not a bad option. What was the Team 1 option? I'm going to show you right now. I'm just going to put the poll out very quickly. Then I'm going to show you Team 1 again. Let's see if I can actually put the poll. So which transfers do you prefer? I'll put option A. So A and B. Let's see if I can... I don't have enough characters for that. So I'll put A, and that will be sell Musiala, and B is going to be keep Musiala. All right, so which team do you prefer? For some reason it's not letting me write. A bit annoying. Team A, Team B. All right. So just for those that aren't aware, and hopefully hasn't autocorrected to musical like last time. So this is what I talked about in my team selection, going from Mbappe, Witsel, Molina, Marquinhos, and Oblak. The ones I'd sell would include Sommer, Lucas Hernandez, just in case he doesn't start. Also, I'd be looking to sell Ake, who's injured, and I'd sell Musiala and Erling Haaland in option A. So this is option A, team 1. Team B, option B, is this, where I go for Oblak again, but I go for a budget defender in Kubarsi, and I also go for Hummels in for Maatsen, which is a bit of a luxury move. I also go for Lucas Beraldo instead of Marquinhos, and I also go for Mbappe yet again. But the main changes are in the midfield by keeping Musiala and also the defense. But let me know if you prefer this option B or option A, which is this one on screen where I go for Witsel, Molina, and Marquinhos. So that's kind of what it comes down to. Oblak and Mbappe are constants, so you can ignore them. It basically comes down to Kubarsi, Hummels, and Beraldo. And also Musiala and Witsel, Molina, Maatsen, and Marquinhos. So let me know what you think there. I might have to edit the poll to make it a bit clearer. Yeah, now in this poll, Team A is winning. So yeah, 60% are saying to sell Musiala. Rice over Kimmich and Witsel? No, not for me. I'm not a big fan of Rice in UCL Fantasy. Who are we captaining today? Honestly, back your gut. My personal opinion is Saka right now. I'm torn between him and Bellingham, but you've always got the options tomorrow, so you don't need to fuss about it too much. It's good to be different and go for your own picks. Captaincy between Foden, Kane, Saka, Bellingham, Haaland. Like I just mentioned, Saka and Bellingham are my ones. Bayern thoughts. I think Pavlovic being on the bench is a massive blow to them. Lima and Goretzka can definitely be targeted. But Musiala and Kane, I think, are the danger men. They are the game changers for Bayern that could swing the tie in their favour. I would back Arsenal to win today. It might not be 3-1, as I've currently got predicted. It might be 2-1, a bit of a cagey game, 1-0, as someone mentioned earlier. Who should I put instead of Hakimi and Galeno? Molina instead of Hakimi, if that's possible, and Zaire Emery. If I use Limitless, what should I use? I'm not sure what you mean, but check out my best Limitless team video and you'll see what I've recommended as the best Limitless team. Lino or Witsel? I prefer Witsel, just in terms of consistency of ball recoveries and points. Kane to Morata, thoughts? Would you keep Haaland or Kane? I'd actually rather keep Kane in Matchday 9 over Erling Haaland. Who's the must pick today, you reckon? I'd say Saka and Bellingham. Worth a -4 for Kimmich or Zaire Emery to Witsel? No, just keep what you have. Bernardo Silva plus 5.6 million mid or Kimmich and Rodri? Kimmich and Rodri seems better. I think I'd go for that. Saka or Odegaard? I prefer Saka in general, but I've got a good feeling about Odegaard tonight. I really do. He hasn't blanked at home in the Champions League as well. He did miss one game. Very close one. Witsel or Fermin Lopez? Fermin Lopez is more exciting, but I'd go for Witsel for the consistency. Midfield punts, I'd say Fermin Lopez would be one of them. I also would look at Odegaard. I really like Odegaard. Kane to Havertz, thoughts? I like Havertz a lot right now, but I wouldn't sell Kane to Havertz. Do you think Stones will play 90? Yeah, he'll definitely play 70 plus at least. 2 all the way. Don't get the Atletico hype whatsoever. I'm not a big fan of Atletico. Let me be very clear. I think they've definitely been better in the past, but in Matchday 9 at least, I do give them the edge over Borussia Dortmund. In Matchday 9. Over both legs, I would also give Atletico the edge, but not by much. I think it's much closer. Will Zaire Emery play? I believe so. He trained yesterday. Good luck, Dylan. Run the likes up the stream, lads. Thank you very much. Yeah, we do have just under 700 people watching. Let's get the stream to over 200 likes, and let's also get to 23k subscribers. That'd be massively appreciated. I think right now, yeah, we're just under 100 subscribers away. So as long as we can get close to that, that would be appreciated. And hopefully, eventually, we do get to that. Best cheap defender option. Depends how cheap we're talking, but I do like Beraldo. Who should I buy, Musiala or Witsel? Musiala is still the better option. Sell Haaland, Kane or Vinicius for Mbappe. At the moment, I'm looking at selling Haaland, but I'd probably buy him back for Matchday 10. Raya or Lunin? I'd give Raya the slight edge. Musiala or Odegaard? I think for Matchday 9, Odegaard. Best cheap Atletico defender, Hermoso if he starts. That isn't guaranteed. And to be fair, I don't think he's that cheap. Might be 5.5 million. So then you're looking at either Azpilicueta or Savic, but both might not start. Best defender under 6 million. I do like Marquinhos and Saliba. I think they're two of my best picks. Ruben Dias or Molina? Definitely Molina for me. Can I use 5 free transfers this match day to cover match day 10? I'm using Limitless. No, you cannot do that. Savic or Jimenez? I think Jimenez... Yeah, maybe give Jimenez the edge, but I'm kind of torn. One of Jimenez, Savic, or Azpilicueta will be benched at least. Zaire Emery or Kimmich? Zaire Emery. Just bear in mind he's an injury doubt, but I think he'll start. Odegaard or Foden? For matchday 9, Odegaard, but in general, I think Foden is a much better UCL fantasy option. Lino or Witsel? Witsel. I'll not cover that again because I've covered that a lot. Ryerson or Maatsen? Quite close, but I give the edge to Maatsen. Witsel and Molina, better go for Yamal. And cheap defense, almost Barca attack goes through Yamal. Not really underestimating Barcelona, to be honest. It's just I back PSG to win in matchday 9. And Barcelona have been quite poor in Europe in the last couple of seasons, especially away from home. I think Barcelona have the edge over both legs, but for matchday 9, I think PSG are more likely to win. Witsel or Molina is fine. I still think it's fine. Who to captain? Back your guard. That's the best thing I can say. I'm currently going for either Saka or Bellingham for tonight, and probably Mbappe tomorrow if I buy him. Martinelli in. I can think of worse transfers, but yeah, he's not. I'd actually rather go for Havertz, and also you've got Kane, Vinicius, Haaland, Mbappe, Griezmann. I think all of them are above Martinelli. Hummels and Oblak or Cancelo and Kobel to transfer in. Hummels and Oblak is probably my favourite. Savic or Jimenez, I've covered. Have Edison and Summer. Yes, I'd sell both of them if you can do it for free. Weiseng says, I back Atletico Madrid to reach the final. They're quite underrated in my opinion, while they eliminated Inter. Yeah, I think cup football might suit them a little bit more. It really depends on how things go. But if they face Barcelona in the semi-finals, obviously just a couple of weeks ago, Barcelona beat them 3-0 at Atletico's ground. So that was a massive result. But yeah, Atletico Madrid reaching the final, I'm not really too against that. Go with Havertz over Griezmann to afford Mbappe. Mbappe in for Kane or Vinicius. Yes, as long as for free and you're not doing it for a hit, that's fine. I'm not going to lie though, I do like Griezmann. I wouldn't sell Griezmann. If you have him, I'd just keep Griezmann and what you have. Best 2 goalkeepers, I'd say Oblak and either Lunin or Raya. Martinelli or Kane, I'd go for Kane. KDB on the bench, yes. White or Saliba, I'd go for Saliba. A lot of people giving Yamal love, that's fair enough. Go for him if you back him. I'm just not backing him so much in matchday 9, but I could be wrong. Vinicius, Saka, Bellingham for captain. Completely up to you. I'm currently going for Saka. It's between him and Bellingham. Lucas Hernandez or Beraldo? Beraldo. Saliba or Cancelo? I'd go for Saliba. Cylindra says worth taking a -4 and selling Musiala to Bernardo Silva. Kind of wanting to go my City man. I wouldn't do that. Just my opinion. I wouldn't do it. Davis or Molina? Molina. Captain. Covered that. Keep or sell Sane. I have Kane. Unless you're selling Sane to one of Foden, Odegaard, Saka, Musiala even potentially. Bellingham. Yeah, I'm not so sure about selling Sane. It ultimately depends who you buy. That's what it comes down to. Jude or Odegaard or Musiala. My favourite for matchday 9 is actually Odegaard, but Bellingham is the best midfielder in the game. Koundé or Molina, Lautaro for Griezmann or Mbappe. Koundé or Molina, Lautaro for Griezmann or Mbappe. I'd go for Molina over Koundé if that's the question. And as for the other one, I do prefer Mbappe. Captain Haaland or Bellingham? Bellingham. Jimenez will play, fair enough. You might be right. And as a budget defender, I'm not really against that. Vinicius or Griezmann? Griezmann for matchday 9. I'm captaining Foden, hope it goes well. Says Dungle. Haaland and Beraldo or Griezmann plus Marquinhos? Griezmann and Marquinhos for matchday 9. The best time for wildcard is team dependent. I'd say matchday 9 or 11 is the best. Ready for a big one? Plenty of injuries for Man City, please, says Gary. Wow. I wouldn't wish injuries, but yeah, in terms of them winning or not, I'm kind of in two minds about it. What do you think about Nuno Mendes for PSG? I'd rather go for Beraldo, Marquinhos, and potentially even Lucas Hernandez. PSG defender or Arsenal? I mean, Arsenal haven't conceded a single goal at the Emirates in the Champions League this season, but for Matchday 9, it's quite close. I'd probably still go for Arsenal defender in Saliba. PSG won't keep a clean sheet, says Miguel. Maybe not, but the likes of Marquinhos can get ball recoveries. Molina or Rodri? Molina. Havertz, Odegaard, or Griezmann and Emery? I'd just about go for Griezmann and Emery, but I like Odegaard a lot for Matchday 9. I have to say that. Vinicius or Haaland? Vinicius for Matchday 9. Captain, I'd go for Bellingham from those three. Raya and Kobel or Oblak and Lunin? Oblak and Lunin. Geraldo, Kovacic, and Odegaard or Kvaratskhelia? I don't like Kovacic, to be honest. I don't think he's a good option. Don't think Bernardo Silva's that great either. I'd probably go for Geraldo and Odegaard. I just don't like Kovacic. Dylan, percentage-wise, how likely is Geraldo starting? I'd say 80%. I mean, he started every single game for PSG bar, what, 1 or 2? He was suspended in the in the league recently. He got a red card, but not really 2 against that. Saliba or Gabriel? Saliba. Not much in it. Sabri says, thanks, I own Saka, Foden, Bellingham, so Sane out to Odegaard or other differential. Yeah, I think Sane out to Odegaard is a decent one. It can go either way. Sane is a quality player, but Odegaard's been fantastic for Arsenal for a couple of months now. That's covered. Not going to go through that. Best 7.2 million midfielder. I still like Zaire Emery a lot, to be honest. If he's fit, I think he's the one. Emery will play, I believe so. Tony Kroos or Camavinga or anyone in 7 million starting today. Kimmich is still good and Rodri. I think those two are fine. Just saying Vinicius and Bellingham, 1 yellow from suspension as well. Yeah, that's true. Same with Diaz, Hernandez, and Hummels. That is true. That's a good point. I covered those early in the stream as well. If you had to make way for 0.5 million on the team on screen, what's the best downgrade? Probably Marquinhos to Beraldo is the best way to go about it. You could also do Molina downgraded, but I do like him for this match day, to be honest. I do like him a lot. Lucas Hernandez, Akanji, or Saliba? Saliba. Who is your captain? It's currently Saka. Which one is better, Rudiger or Davis? Rudiger. Just about. Lino or Rodri? Rodri, but I do like Lino. He's a decent option. He's got a bit of attacking potential about him, but I just think Rodri's more consistent. I've currently got Saka captain. I think Bayern Munich not having Pavlovic is a massive blow. Gabriel or White? Probably Gabriel for ball recoveries, but White has been great, actually. Yeah, it's actually 8:30 now. It's about to be 8:30. Sunset just happened. That's why you can see the light fading from my camera. Keep Foden. Who should I put instead? Yeah, I keep Foden. Just keep Foden. Do you want to sell Musiala for money or for points? It's for money, for budget. Otherwise, I just keep him, no questions asked. And that's why I put the question about this team, which you see on screen, or this one. So option A or option B. And if we actually check the poll right now, 58%, 57% now say sell Musiala and go for team A. How nil does Beraldo to start? Beraldo plays as a left centre-back or left-back. So Marquinhos playing on the right isn't an issue for Beraldo. That's not the issue. If Marquinhos plays on the right, that actually boosts Beraldo's chances of starting. And you can see Hernandez and Beraldo starting together with a Skriniar alongside. Lino and Haaland or Vinicius and Yamal? I'd probably go for Vinicius and Yamal. I think that's the slight preference out of those two duos. ¿Qué piensas de Rodrigo para esta jornada por budget? No me molesta. Y que hace 2 años que Rodrigo hizo que 2 goles al final en contra Man City para poner a Real Madrid en la final. Así que no me molesta. No, it's not my final team. Once I decide and have time to think about my team, I'll go for it. Foden is good. Of course he is. I mean, he's one of the best midfielders in the world right now. De Ligt or Lucas Hernandez? Lucas Hernandez. Griezmann for Haaland, Vinicius or Kane? I'd say Haaland. Who is your top attackers? I think for this match day, I'd say Mbappe, Vinicius, and I'd also say Griezmann. And in terms of Vinicius, you could also go for Rodrigo instead. But in terms of Haaland and Kane, I'd put them 4th and 5th for this match day. I could be wrong. But that's what I'm going for. Saka, Bellingham or Foden for captain? I'd go for Saka right now, but Bellingham's the template pick. Very safe, you could argue. Jack of all trades. I think 4 points is his kind of floor. With Saka, you could even see 1 or 2 points. There's a possibility. Kane or Griezmann? I'd say Griezmann for this match day. KDB to Bellingham? Yeah, it's very simple. I wouldn't overthink it. Andres Suarez puts his team, have 1 million in the bank and 1 free transfer. Any thoughts? Your goalkeeper's absolutely fine. Your defense is decent. Not a big fan of Eric Dyer, but you never know. You might not even need to use the transfer, but I would consider either Haaland or Kane to Mbappe. I think that's the only thing that would improve your team significantly for this match day. Bayern and Madrid full of depth and experience to win important matches and have players too flexible in any roles. Yeah, you might be right, but Bayern need to step up big time because if they play like they did the other day against Heidenheim, they could get destroyed. It just depends how they turn up today. But Real Madrid definitely have that pedigree in the Champions League and you can never write them off. Score predictions, I'll go through them very soon. I talked about them earlier, but I went for 3-1 Arsenal, might change that to 2-1. I went for 1-1 Real Madrid, and I also went for a few different other score lines, like 2-1 PSG and 2-0 Atletico. Zaire Emery or Witsel? Zaire Emery. Just bear in mind he's an injured out, so if you don't want to risk it, Witsel's safe. Best 2 goalkeepers for 7.3 million. I mean, we're talking about nothing there, are we? So probably Lunin and Kobel, right? If you can afford that, that's probably the 2 you go for. Kimmich for Rodri? I'd just keep what you have. I don't think it's a big upgrade one way or the other. I think most likely both of them get between 3 to 5 points. Replacements for Rico Lewis, given that he is benched. Depends on your budget, but Lucas Beraldo or Barsi, depending on if you back PSG or Barcelona. And you could even maybe consider a budget Atletico Madrid defender if you wish. Ruben Dias or Stones? Dias. Just bear in mind he's 1 yellow card away from suspension. Cancelo or Molina? If I have Oblak, I'd still go for Molina, personally. Martinelli or chess game Vinicius? I'd go for Vinicius. Yamal and Gabriel or White and Musiala? White and Musiala. Which Atletico defender other than Molina? I'd say Hermoso if he's fit. Schlotterbeck or Hummels? Hummels for me. Thank you, Aris. Much appreciated. Nuno T says, if you only had one captain to choose in both match days, who'd you go for? Mbappe. But you have captaincy options for today as well, so not a big deal. Kubarsi is a good option. Yes. For 4 million, he certainly is. Captain Haaland or Kane? I'd give Kane the slight edge. Saliba and triple Arsenal defense or Molina? Molina. Any changes to the wildcard team after team news? Well, no, because KDB is benched, so he doesn't come in. I don't think much changes in my wildcard team. Maybe I'd go for a Haaland. I think Haaland might come in. Sorry, Griezmann might come in. But yeah, apart from that, I don't think anything else changes. The rest is pretty much as I said. What was the reason to go Mbappe over Haaland? I just think at home to Barcelona, he's got a better chance of falling than Haaland away to Madrid. Just the way I see it. I think Barcelona have been great recently, but I really back Mbappe in these big games. Recommend a good 5 million defender, Lucas Beraldo. Emery or Kimmich? Emery. Is C defender necessary? No. Good luck to you as well, Kuka. Any 7 million midfielder? There's plenty. It's just about picking the right one, and Zaire Emery is my favourite. Kobel over Oblak? Not for me, but if you're backing Dortmund, then that makes sense. I just back Atletico for matchday 9. That's just my kind of take there. Any change to the wildcard team covered? Yamal, Musiala or Witsel Odegaard? Witsel Odegaard is probably my slight preference, but both duos are very good. Surely have to go double Atletico defense at home versus Dortmund. Not surely, but as I mentioned earlier and throughout the week really, if I had to back one team for a clean sheet, it would be Atletico Madrid. Marquinhos or Saliba? Saliba. Best 2 defenders, 9.5 million. Lucas Beraldo and probably Kubarsi. You could even just go for Beraldo and, let's say, Matson. You've got plenty of options there. Best Let's Go defender other than Molina. Just covered that. Thank you, Keith, for moderating the chat throughout. Much appreciated. Why no Haaland? It's not set in stone, but I just don't back him so much in matchday 9, which could be a mistake. I'm not denying that. But yeah, Erling Haaland, I don't know. He hasn't been in great form overall. He scored the other day, but in general, I think he's missed a lot of chances. And away from home against Madrid, I would probably back him to blank. It's more likely than him scoring. But let's wait and see. I could be wrong. In terms of chance of scoring of any player, he's second behind Mbappe for matchday 9. Cheap alternative to Molina. I'd say Jimenez. I think they're both kind of rotation risks, but I'd go for Jimenez. Marquinhos or Saliba? Saliba. Havertz for Haaland? It's worth considering, but I'd probably keep Haaland. Cancelo or Kubarsi? Kubarsi for budget. Captain Kane or Haaland? I captain Kane. Captain, probably Saka. It's about time actually that I kind of focus on my team and what I'm supposed to do. So yeah, kind of in two minds about some of these transfers, to be honest, but I think I'm going to go for this. Unfortunately, it means selling Musiala, which could be a huge mistake, but I'm kind of going to go all in on let's go Madrid, go for Mbappe, and also go for Marquinhos there. Now, this could pose some problems for the semi-finals, but I will have 8 free transfers, you know, for matchday 10 and 11 to kind of deal with things. But yeah, I think going for Mbappe for Haaland could be a risk worth taking. Yeah, and also selling Musiala for Witsel. Let's wait and see how that pans out. Musiala's a quality player. He's been in great form. Selling him isn't easy. But I could go for something like this. And if not, if I keep Maatsen, yeah, I wouldn't really have much. Let's see, so if I recover Maatsen, yeah, I wouldn't have enough for Marquinhos here anyway. And I'd have to go for Kubarsi. Yeah, I think I'd go for option A. That's kind of my personal preference at the moment. I talked about it in the team selection as well. Why does it take points away when I already made my picks but want to change them before the game starts? I'm not sure what you mean there in terms of, are you talking about taking hits? I'm not sure what you mean there. Vinicius or Haaland? I would go for Vinicius this week. Is Saka better captain than Bellingham? It's very close, but Saka's a bit more of a differential. Watch Arsenal or City? Well, I'm going to watch Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan, so no Molina. I probably will go for him. I don't think he's absolutely essential, but I think he's the best defender in matchday 9. Just give me a second, by the way, before I'm going to fix the light a little bit. In the meantime, you can see my... yeah, I'm going to show you my predictions. So I'm a bit in two minds about this. I might go for 2-1 Real Madrid. I might go for 2-1 Arsenal. But I want to go for some kind of different predictions and climb up the ranks in the predicted league. But yeah, just give me a second whilst I sort out the light. And yeah, I'll literally be back in just a few seconds. So don't go anywhere, as they say. And yes, be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, as well. So just give me a few seconds. And of course, I'll be locking in my team very soon. And of course, going through your questions as well. Okay, I am back now. Thank you very much for your patience. And yep, the lighting will now be sorted. And I'm also going to go to my team again. Of course, that's the problem with relying on direct sunlight and natural daylight. So yeah, of course, I'm still on holiday. I will be back very soon. Hopefully that light in the back isn't too annoying, but at least you've got a bit more exposure here going on. So yeah, I'm going to start locking in my team. And then, because I've answered a lot of questions already, hundreds at this point, and we do have just over 500 people watching. Let's get this stream to over 200 likes. We're literally 12 away, so let's get to that. Thank you to the new channel members and obviously those that send in super chats, the patrons, and those that have already signed up to the channel. And yeah, pretty much now, I'm just going to close some tabs. I'm now going to pretty much just lock in my team. So we've got 90 minutes left. Big games today. Probably the biggest night in the Champions League for some time now, in my opinion, with 2 massive games. But yeah, I'm now going to go to the transfer section again. And I think this is what I'm going to go for. Let me know if you like the transfers. Just say yes or no in the live chat. And I will be locking in fairly soon. I wouldn't recommend the -12, mate. I think a -12 is far too excessive in UCL Fantasy. You've only got 13 match days after all. Yeah, Rodrigo's very dangerous. Yeah, that is true. That is true. He is very dangerous. Um, but, you know, I mean, Vinicius is overall my preference in general for the Champions League. But yeah, in terms of 9 million forwards and below, I think Rodrigo is definitely the best option. So yeah, I don't think it's a bad shout, actually. So yeah, I'm just kind of thinking about these two teams, and I don't want to overthink it because when I overthink, it leads to some big problems, as we all well know. But yeah, Rodrigo, whether it's off the bench or not, doesn't matter. He is playing. I think it's going to be on the left-hand side. So you've got Bellingham and Vinicius playing as the two strikers. That was the reports that we saw earlier today. I showed you just before the Madrid lineup was confirmed. But yeah, I think I'm just going to go for these. I don't want to overcomplicate this thing. Wait, is this the... Oh, right, okay. For some reason, it didn't go for it. Apologies for the lag, by the way. Nothing I can do about... I think this is actually way worse than the last few streams in terms of the drop frames and stuff, so not much I can do. I think the time as well, it's just making it more difficult on the internet, but it is what it is. Let's see. ¿La vendo a De Bruyne o lo dejo en mi equipo? Yo lo vendería, lamentablemente. Yo creo que es mejor venderlo. Yes, hold Haaland, says Lavinier. Fair enough. Are you captaining Kane? I don't think so. The only reason I'd captain him is the jinx, to be honest. We got 5-3, -12. Your team must suck, says Gary. A bit harsh. But yeah, with 5-3 transfers, it's just not worth. If you have the wild card, especially, I mean, just use it. It's the easiest thing to do. Who's the best captain option for today and tomorrow? I'd say either Saka or Bellingham today and Mbappe tomorrow. Sell Vinicius and buy Griezmann, captain Saka, rank 290. Good luck, Mohammed. Not a bad suggestion. I'm currently going for Saka captain. Vinicius, Bellingham, Kane captain. From those three, I'd go for Bellingham. I did answer you before. Mian says, Beraldo's not been starting recently because he got suspended. That's why. He got a red card in Ligue 1. That's why he's been out of the loop recently. So, yeah, I mean, look, Marquinhos is always going to be the safest pick, but he's just come back from injury. I personally think Lucas Beraldo will start. I don't have that many problems with that. Now, look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fair enough. But if you look at, for example, PSG's recent lineup, you know, they had Mbappe on the bench. They had Donnarumma on the bench. They benched a lot of players. It's not really the end of the world. I don't have that many concerns about rotation with Paris Saint-Germain. They play quite a weak lineup because they've already won Ligue 1 anyway. It's not really a big deal. But yeah, if I check here, I think Beraldo got sent off. It was actually it was against Marseille. He got a straight red card, and a straight red card means you're suspended for 2 or 3 games depending on the league and the competition and also the nature of the red card. But yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about that, mate, honestly. I think Beraldo will start. If you're unsure about it, go for someone else and don't overcomplicate it. What about Carvajal? I just go for Lunin in goal to cover Madrid defensively. I'm not a big fan of Carvajal, to be quite honest with you. I think Hernandez will start, but I have doubts about him, which is why in the set of transfers I'm showing you right now, I'm looking to potentially sell him. It's dumb that they place Arsenal City game on the same day. Well, it's whether you think it's dumb or not, it's because of the side of the draw, right? Games between Arsenal and Bayern and City and Madrid will face each other in the semi-finals. They always do it that way, where teams in the same bracket play on the same day in the quarterfinals. It's not really anything new. Good luck to you as well, Angel Gashaga. Kubarsi and Raya or Beraldo and Lunin? I would go for... Oh, yeah, hopefully this stream doesn't bug out. Yeah, unfortunately the internet's getting a bit, well, even worse. I would go for Beraldo and Lunin, but just about, really. Do I keep Zaire Emery? I'd recommend it, but it's up to you. Captain, I've covered that extensively. Saka or Bellingham for me, take your pick. A few people mentioned Lee Kang or Kang Lee earlier. It's up to you, really, but I think there are better options in that position. Best captain pick we've covered. Due captain it is for me, either him or Saka Foden. Midfield captain's best options. Yeah. I think, though, for the Wednesday, I would go for Mbappe or Griezmann. White or Saliba, I'd go for Saliba in UCL Fantasy. Stones, Akanji or Gvardiol. In fact, in UCL Fantasy, Gvardiol is my favourite because of ball recoveries. Mbappe or Griezmann, I would go for Mbappe. 2000 man says Witsel and Haaland or Kimmich and Vinicius Jr. I would go for Kimmich and Vinicius, just about. Buy which defender for Carvajal? if you got Carvalho, you could keep him, but yeah, I think Molina would be a nice replacement if you can afford it. Probably Hermoso, Cilindra, if he's fit. That's the big question, though. Otherwise, just go for Jimenez. Who's the best captain? Saka for me. It's up to you. Kane, Vinicius, or Haaland, Martinelli? I would go for Kane and Vinicius. Can I save one transfer in the next match day? You can't save all raw transfers over. You can't do that in the knockout stages. Only in the group stages of UCL Fantasy. Yeah, we're getting a lot of repeat questions. I'm going to try not to go through that again because it's kind of getting a bit... Yeah, Lino and Kobo or Witsel and Oblak? I would go for Witsel and Oblak. Kubarsi or Marquinhos? Marquinhos. Do you think Saka will produce points today? Well, he's currently my captain. And yeah, I think he will produce points, but it's just a question of nailing on the captaincy and your highest scoring player. That's pretty much what it comes down to. It's kind of easier said than done, of course, but yeah, I think he will score points. Witsel over Musiala, it's only to have funds. But if funds are no issue for you, just keep Musiala. He's a good option. Kunde in for Dyer. Yeah, I think that's decent because of ball recoveries, but are you taking Zaire over Lino? Yeah, I'd still take him over. I mean, it's kind of awkward with Zaire Emery. Would I buy him in right now? Maybe not. But for those that have Zaire Emery, I would recommend holding on to him. Double up on Arsenal defence. I think Atletico have the best defence for matchday 9 in terms of the fixture. I think Arsenal would be the second or third most likely to keep a clean sheet. So I'm not against it fully, but Bayern still have great attackers. I personally think Bayern will score. Eric Dyer or Matson? Matson. Diaz or Gavardio? Gavardio. It might become an issue when Ake is back, but for now, Gavardio is the better option. Saka out for both Musiala and Bernardo, not for me. Marquinhos or Hummels? I think Hummels just because of the ball recoveries, to be honest. Cancelo going to start? Yep. Diaz or Akanji, Marquinhos or Kubarsi? Out of those four, I would go for Marquinhos for matchday 9. Lino, Sancho or Yamal on Limitless? I'd probably go for Yamal from those three, but I'm not a big fan of any of them on the Limitless. I mean, you saw my Limitless team. I mean, I went for what? Saka, Odegaard, Musiala, Foden, and Bellingham. Might seem template, but I think that's the best midfield 5. Sommer for Lunin. Yep, good transfer. I wouldn't do it for a hit, though. Best defender, 5.9 million and under. I'd say Saliba or Marquinhos for matchday 9. Lunin for Sommer. Not for a -4, no. It's not worth it. Matson or Beraldo? I would go for Beraldo. Morata or Griezmann for Haaland? Griezmann. Raya or Lunin? In my wildcard and Limitless videos, I went for Lunin to cover Madrid defensively, and then in the defense, you go for Saliba, Gabriel, etc. You can even double up on them, but yeah, as a like-for-like pick, just like 1v1, who's the better option, more likely to keep a clean sheet in matchday 9? I'd say Raya. Just about. Lunin does have a high ceiling for a goalkeeper. I do like him a lot. I think they're both good options, but yeah, it really depends on your team. If you've already got an Arsenal defender, I'd go for Lunin. Cruz or Declan Rice? Probably Cruz. Kunde in for Dyer? Yeah, I mentioned this before. 5 million Atletico Madrid defender, Jimenez. Best Bayern defender? Probably Eric Dyer in terms of budget. Sommer to Donnarumma. I wouldn't do any goalkeeper transfer for a -4, especially if you have a goalkeeper already. Even if he's playing tomorrow, so be it. I wouldn't take a hit for a goalkeeper. What's your thoughts on Lino from Atletico? Suspension risk, but decent player, high ceiling. I'm not against him. I think he's a decent budget option, but I wouldn't go for him on the Limitless, for example. Best City defender, I'd say Gavardio, then Ruben Diaz. Why don't you swap Marquinhos for Hummels if you say it's better? I mean, like I said, I haven't fully locked in my team, to be honest, but it's definitely something worth considering. Hummels is more likely to get ball recoveries, but I do back PSG in terms of winning today, or this week, and also in terms of keeping a clean sheet in matchday 9. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Yeah, I will be locking in very soon, don't worry. Best captain today, I'll say it for the last... Actually, I'm not even going to say it because you spammed the question. Thank you, Keith. Massively appreciated. You've done a great job today. My Limitless defense, let's just get this up, and then I'm going to lock in my team. Saliba, Cancelo, Lucas Hernandez, Molina, Hummels, good or bad? It's very good. I like it a lot. Just a bit concerned about Lucas Hernandez, whether he starts or not. I think he will, but there are some doubts about that. Saka out for Bernardo Musiala, not for me. White, Kivio, or Marquinhos, or do you have Saliba? I'd go for Marquinhos in that case. If you're backing Arsenal to keep a clean sheet and win, then you could always double up, but I'd probably go for Marquinhos. Take a hit for Edison. Just mentioned it a few minutes ago, mate. No hits for goalkeepers for me. If you want to do it, up to you. Either way, Edison's on the bench. I'm guessing you're saying you're selling Edison, but either way, I just wouldn't do it. De Bruyne was last-minute change. He asked Pep to replace him because he didn't feel well from FPL Tony. Probably Kovacic in place for him. Fair enough. Thank you for that. I wasn't aware of that update. Vitinha, Kangli, or Fabian Ruiz for a punt? Kangli. Yeah, good luck to you as well, Godson. Who'll be the best Atletico defender other than Molina? I'd say Jimenez. It's not much in it. It's just about nailing on the one who starts. It's Brandon. I literally answered your question just a minute ago, so just refer back to that. Best 4.6 million defender? I'd say Lucas Beraldo. Bellingham or Foden? Bellingham. All right, so time to lock in. Enough chit-chat, enough messing around. Yeah, I'm probably going to go for this then. Selling Haaland's always a big risk. It could maybe make or break my season, even selling Musiala, but risks have to be taken. If it doesn't pay off, so be it. Yeah, and also with Hummels, I mean, I would like him, but I wouldn't want to double up on Borussia Dortmund defensively, and I do want to kind of coverage for every single team if possible. So I think I'm just going to go for this. Oblak, Marquinhos, Molina, Witsel, and Mbappe, but yeah, selling Erling Haaland isn't ideal. I might even want him back by the next match day. Of course, Vinicius is one yellow card away from suspension. Same with Bellingham, Ruben Dias. So there's quite a few rotation risks and suspension risks to think about. But yeah, I think I'm going to go for this. I think this is going to be my final team. I'm going to hope that Emery plays. He was in training yesterday. He generally starts with PSG. I think this is kind of going to be my setup. So yeah, I'm going to lock my team in right now. Let's see how it all pans out, of course. But yeah, anything else really to think about? There's a lot of 50-50 calls this match day. Very tough games to call. I wish you all the best of luck, of course, in terms of match day 9 and the rest of the season. But yeah, Haaland, Musiala, Ake, Sommer, and Hernandez to Mbappe, Witsel, Molina, Oblak, and Marquinhos. I think that is going to be my 5 transfers. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for it. Let's see how it goes. No Barcelona coverage whatsoever for me. Obviously, no Erling Haaland, no Musiala. A lot of big risks, but yeah, I think it could pay off. I think it could pay off. We literally got just over 5 minutes until the deadline. Be sure to lock in your teams. Don't leave it to chance and don't leave it to the last second like I am. It's not recommended, trust me. The worst thing you can do. I think I'm just going to go for that. So let's see how it goes. I've confirmed the transfers. They're done. All right, so Captain Saka. Just have to change it again for some reason. So that is my final team. Let me go to the different screen. Let's see if it actually changes it. For some reason, the keys aren't working. It's a bit weird. But yeah, there we go. So just making sure everything's in order. Yeah, those playing tomorrow on my bench. Make sure to do that. So Oblak, Maatsen, Marquinhos, and Zaire Emery on my bench. In the starting 11, I've got Lunin, Saliba, Ruben Dias, Molina, Saka captain, Foden, Bellingham, Witsel, Kane, Vinicius, and Mbappe up front. It's between Saka and Bellingham for me for the captaincy. So yeah, that might be a late change. Bellingham was my captain in all my videos, and I talked about that. I did switch to Saka, literally yesterday, whenever I kind of had a look at this again. But yeah, Saka, Bellingham, that's kind of my final decision, who to captain. So yeah, I've literally got 7 players playing tomorrow, 8 playing today, and those that score the least amount of points, you know what to do. Sub them out, and if the captaincy flops, we've got another chance tomorrow. So thank you to those that voted in the poll as well. Team A did win, sell Musiala, and that's what I ended up going for. Best options for Limitless. It's covered in the best Limitless team video. Nothing has changed really. Yeah, I think nothing's changed. Enjoy the match, Dylan. Enjoy the matches, everyone. Big night. Likewise, Roy. Captain, probably Saka. Yeah, no worries, it's Brandon. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's probably my wife as well, lagging. This stream has been a bit chaotic. Kane, Vinicius, or Martinelli, Haaland. Kane and Vinicius. I don't know who to captain today. Yeah, but Bosnian, the thing is, I've answered the captaincy question quite extensively. For me, Saka or Bellingham today, and tomorrow, Mbappe or Griezmann. I'm currently going for Saka, but I might end up changing it. ¿Vas a dejar a Kane de capitán o Saka? No, va a ser Saka o Bellingham para mí. Thanks, Dylan, and good luck. Going to captain Havertz and time to enjoy the games. Good luck, Cylindra. Enjoy it. Quite surprised I haven't captained a City player there, but it is Madrid away. Made a mistake. Have Lunin and Ortega, says Dave. Oh, yeah. Yeah, both of them playing in the same. I'd probably give Lunin the edge if I had to pick one. You still have time, Dave. Fix it, says Gilberto. Yeah, if you've got a free transfer, just make the move. Buy Oblak if possible. If not, go for Kobel. Saka captain against disastrous Bayern. Let's go. Not sure if Bayern will be that bad tonight. I'm hoping they are, but let's wait and see. Is Kane a good captaincy shout today? Yeah, of course he is. He's got a great record against Arsenal. I think it's his third favourite opponent, if not second. Yeah, no worries, Bosnian. No worries. No goalkeeper or -4 hit. It's just... You need a clean sheet for that to pay off. And even then, you'd gain 2 points from it. I just don't like that at all. Unless it's Oblak, I just wouldn't do it. Thank you, Hosea. I appreciate that, and I'll see you very soon. Cyril puts his team, 0.1 million in the bank. Not sure how many transfers you have. I'm guessing you've used them, but very solid squad. I do prefer Oblak over Kobel, but Kobel's a nice option for tomorrow. Your midfield as well, if Zaire Emery's fit, which I think he will be. He's been in training. I think that's a really good midfield. Your Miles a nice punt. Not a big fan of Morata in the knockout stages, but Mbappe and Vinicius look great. Good stuff. Thank you, Dis123. Much appreciated. Griezmann or Rodrigo? Griezmann. Rice or Witsel? Witsel. Why not Rice over Maatsen? I've already got Maatsen, mate. I'm not going to sell Maatsen for Rice. And in terms of why do I prefer Maatsen in general, he's been quite impressive since joining on loan in January from Chelsea. I've just been quite impressed with Maatsen. A lot of yellow cards, but decent ball recovery potential, some good assists and attacking contributions. Gunner's ready, says Gary. Yes. Thank you, yeah. Foden, Saka, Odegaard or Bellingham for captain. I'd be very tempted by Odegaard. I'm not going to lie to you, but Bellingham's the safest. Saka, obviously high ceiling at home. I'd probably go for Odegaard if I'm taking a punt and you've got Mbappe for tomorrow or Griezmann. Thank you, Cyril, and everyone else who have been tuning in today. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for new. Yeah, let's get the stream to, well, 300 likes if possible. Let's get this as close as possible at least. But yeah, thanks to those that have already done so. Gracias como siempre, crack. Gracias, Alexander. Captain Bellingham. I might. It's a bit boring, but it might be the one. I mean, Bellingham hasn't blanked all season. Hasn't been in great form. Just came back from injury, but yeah, Bellingham is a great option. Saka. I mean, to be fair, he's been a bit indifferent recently. But yeah, difficult. I don't want double jeopardy of Arsenal. You know, I'm going to captain Bellingham. I think I'm just going to change it on Bellingham. I'm very conflicted about that one. Saka or Bellingham. I think Odegaard's a really nice pump for today. And there we go. Time's out. Let's watch the game. Yes, I'm going to watch the game for sure. Thank you, Sudais. If you're a Bayern Munich fan, good luck. Maybe not to your team, but good luck to you. Henry Bush says, good luck, everyone. Likewise, Henry. Damn, tough captaincy today. Think I'll go Vinicius. Good luck, mate, and everyone in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I literally was in two minds about it. Bellingham was my thoughts all week, so I'm going to stick with him, but it literally took a last-second change again because I was quite tempted by Saka and a few others. So, yeah, that is it. We are locked in now. The games have started. Be sure to watch. Be sure to watch. And, yeah, I mean, try out both games up if possible. Locked. Thank you, Punjabi. Thank you to everyone else. And, yeah, I mean, hopefully... no more chaotic streams like this one because, yeah, look at that. It says Molina and Witsel are playing. I mean, what? It says Witsel's got 6 points and Molina 3. That'd be great. That'd be really great, actually. Just going to make sure that my transfers went through. That'd be nice, obviously. So, yeah, just double checking. Obviously, this is the refresh page on the other one. See if any day now would be nice. It's a mixture of the website being very busy and also the internet. So, yeah, but I think my transfers went through. They always do, really, when this happens. So, yeah, Kane's already on 2 points. Maatsen's got 9 points on my bench. Yeah, that's quite crazy. Bellingham's my captain. There we go. Thank you to everyone. It's been a pleasure. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe for new. Let's try to get this stream to 300 likes and let's keep on pushing towards 23k subscribers and beyond. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the keys, by the way. Some of them aren't working, but you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, and check all the other links in the description below for the Patreon, Championships Discord server, the UCL Fantasy League, and also check out my podcasts on Spotify and Amazon Music. Leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way to helping the channel, and it costs nothing whatsoever. But yeah, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you, Dave. Great stream as always, Dylan. Thanks for the hard work. Smash that like and subscribe, everyone. Thank you. Matson on 9. Yeah, it's a visual glitch. Punjabi says, good luck, guys. Come on, Arsenal. Thank you. Site is not working. Okay, it's not just me then, not the internet this time. Good luck to Arsenal, Dylan. As a Barcelona fan, I must watch the Bayern downfall to its end. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to last very long anyway, their downfall. They'll probably be back by next season or the one after, and they could still reach the semi-finals this time round, but hopefully not. I bought in Raya in panic when I already had Lunin. Yeah, I see what you mean. That's why making late moves can backfire, and it almost did for me. And it might yet still do. But yeah, with goalkeepers, you always want one for each day, of course. Always run out of time to do the Champions League predictor. To be honest, I just forget, but I'm quite happy to keep things as they are. So I went for 1-1 Madrid, 3-1 Arsenal. Let's actually check now if I can... The keys will actually decide to work this time. No, they're still not working. I don't know why they're not working. It's probably just the laptop bugging out. But if I go now to... Oh dear, I just heard screaming. I'm not sure if there's a goal already. But yeah, 3-1 Arsenal, 1-1 Madrid City, 2-1 PSG, and 2-0 Atletico. I haven't put the Joker yet. I put Arsenal first team to score, Odegaard player of the match, and also Vinicius in Madrid. Let's see how that all goes. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. I've done Haaland, Kimmich, Ake, Hakimi, Ederson out for Ortega, Kubarsi, Molina, Odegaard, and Mbappe. Just had 0.1 million left. Oh, fair enough. And damn, yeah, City goal already. Wow. Damn. So maybe Bellingham captain's going to flop already. It's probably Haaland who scored, right? If so, then yeah. Goal Bernardo. Bernardo has scored yeah, at the Bernabeu before. I remember that. Hopefully Haaland didn't get an assist, but that's not looking good for my decision to sell him. Oh dear. Lunar mistake there. Fair enough. Fair enough. Hopefully, Rad, you started Raya. If so, maybe that will pay off for you. Yeah, it's exactly that. Twister Parky. Bridgerton says, had exact funds. Downgraded KDB to Rodri and Boy and White, Sleeper, Hummels, Oblak for eliminated players. Yeah, sometimes when you see that, you kind of think, oh, it makes sense. It's the easy thing to do. Too many yellow card already. Jesus Christ. Nuclear Atom says, cheers, Dylan, for the consistent streams. Thank you very much. Also forgot Predictor. Oh, well. There's always next year. Good thing I played Raya. Hopefully, Rad. Hopefully he keeps a clean sheet. That'd be great. Yeah, that's not a great start. Not a great start. I'm hoping Haaland can go quiet for the rest of tonight. But yeah, Predictor's already in the mud. And we've only just begun. But cheers, everyone. Tomorrow I'll be back from my holiday, which is kind of a bittersweet thing. And I'll start to record FPL content either tomorrow or Thursday. So I'll try to do the best wildcard team for Game Week 33, team selection, and the transfer tips. And of course, the deadline stream on Saturday with no lag whatsoever. Touch wood, of course. Hopefully no issues there. Gonna go watch the games now. Arsenal, of course, is my preference. Good luck to everyone. Enjoy the Champions League. I'll see you very soon for my FPL and UCL Fantasy content. Take care. Enjoy the football. I'll see you very soon on this channel. And you'll be up to date with everything you need to know with fantasy in UCL Fantasy and FPL by subscribing to the channel. I'll see you very soon.